Welcome to Brewsers, the podcast about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. I am your host, Roadie John, and today we speak to Marisol Ruelas about how she got into fighting, finding balance, being a fighter and a mom, along with how she deals with MMA fans. This is such a fun interview. I'm so lucky to have her on the show. She is a up-and-coming MMA fighter that you need to be on the lookout for. So without a doubt, make sure to check her out. So here is Marisol Ruelas. I'd like to welcome to the show Marisol Ruelas. How are you doing today, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So what is your earliest memory of MMA?
My earliest memory, I guess, would be back in high school. I was in the wrestling team, and then from there, one of my teammates told me I should start training at an MMA gym that had just opened up, like maybe a mile away from my high school.
Oh wow!
And, yeah.
So, how was wrestling in high school? Because I know that's not something that's really it's been becoming more popular now, but wrestling school or wrestling teams for women are not really all that. There wasn't a lot of them years ago, so I imagine you guys were probably one of the first.
Yeah, back I graduated in 2015, so this was probably 2013. I had no intention of doing the wrestling team. I was actually in the football team, and I was the only girl on the team. The football coach was the wrestling coach, and honestly, I didn't even think he really wanted me on the team to wrestle. He just wanted me on the team to get some forfeit wins. Because I was only like 100 pounds, and I was a girl, and maybe out of 15 schools in that whole area in CPS, I was probably the only, maybe there was 3 girls in the whole division. So yeah, it was rough. It was really rough because, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just showing up to training thinking whatever. I didn't even know what weight cutting was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then, in high school wrestling, their weight cutting is not exactly as science-induced as, MMA now, obviously professional MMA. So I imagine you were probably in some saunas with some trash bags and stuff like that.
Oh, my God. It was terrible. Wrestling, I actually never had to cut weight because I was I was very little. I was always, no matter how much I ate, I would still be around the weight that I needed to or under. But when I did start fighting, in MMA, I was the only girl on the team, and guys didn't know either. It was early, and to them it was just suck on ice cubes, sit in the sauna for about an hour, you'll be fine. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was terrible. So, I mean, I know it's not very gentlemanly to ask about a woman's weight, but however, you are a fighter and you have to be in a certain weight class. So you fight at what, flyweight and strawweight? Yeah, so comfortably, for me, I would, if I could stay at 25, I would, but I'm not a naturally big person. I've trained with women that are natural, flyweights, and they're a lot bigger than me. My coach and all my coaches have been trying to get me to get down to 115. And I have had a few fights at 115, but, I'm too big for 15 and I'm too small for 25. So I've done a lot of catch weight at 120, and I think that's a more comfortable, but realistically, if I ever want to, do a big show or even fight for a title, I would have to pick one. But I've honestly, if you count the times I've won as a flyweight, it's I think I'm one loss out of maybe 6 fights. And then as a strawweight or anytime I go under 25, it's just loss after loss after whatever. And I'm
maybe this is a sign I should just bulk
Yeah.
up.
I mean, what do you naturally walk around at?
On a day where I'm not either in camp but I'm still training, I walk around maybe 34, 36.
Okay.
On like holiday season, I can get up to 140, but that's my tamale days.
Yeah. Believe me, I understand that time is not the best for everybody, I think.
No, you never want to fight around that time.
No. Yeah, I always feel bad when I see people fighting toward the end of the year. I'm like, ooh, you've got a lot more discipline than I do, but, you know, you're obviously getting paid far more than I do. So.
Yeah, and I mean, people obviously don't want to, but sometimes it's all you can get, especially if you want to fight, and it's just hard to find or get fights, so you do what you can.
Yeah, I can understand that. Now, speaking of fights, you have a fight on May 20th with Kina Sisson. Is that right?
I believe it's Kina Simpson, but I'm not.
Oh, Kina Simpson. Okay.
Don't quote me on that one.
Oh, yeah, same. Exactly. I mean, I messed it up, too. I'm not exactly sure. Tell us about this fight. It's happening for WXC, and it's happening in Michigan. Tell us more about this fight.
Yeah, it's honestly a very good fight for us. She actually, so originally, I couldn't find a fight. I had not been fighting, for 3 years. I was in camps. I was trying to fight. I couldn't. Eventually, finally I got cleared by the Illinois Commission, and my coach was trying to look for a fight. I had fought for WXC, as an amateur, and we liked the promotion, we liked the promoters, and, my coach put my name in for the, I think April or March card. I can't remember. Oh, February. It was supposed to be in February. So they gave my name to Kina, and at the time it was kind of iffy because she does fight at strawweight, and we were asking for 120. So she was kind of back and forth, and we were kind of like, there was bad communication. And then while we were having bad communication, my manager had messaged me about a fight in Combate, which was a promotion I had already been signed with. So because obviously money, and it was a bigger promotion, and it was just more of a secure fight, we took that one instead. She actually reached out to me and asked me, you know, like what was going on, because she couldn't find a fight either. And you know, I understood her, but I told her like, I already got the contract. This is a secure fight. This is at a better way, and it's more money. So she was like, okay, well, I guess I'll reach out to a different girl. After my fight in March, they put my name in again, or they had asked for me, and she had messaged me again asking like, hey, you know, I just want to reach out because now it's another weight issue. And so eventually I was like, it's okay, let's just get it done. I'll drop down to 120. If you want to do 120 plus a pound allowance, we can get it done. And we got it done, and I guess everything's signed for. We're going to fight on the 20th of March. We think it's a very good fight. I know she is a very good grappler. I believe I'm a very good grappler. And yeah, it should be really exciting. I think, both of us are very hungry. I really need to win, and I know she is a very, gritty person. I know she's very into competition. She's a lot older. But yeah, I know that her record is good. But you know, we're not scared of experience, I guess.
Yeah. So how do you normally train for fights? Do you kind of watch video? Do you do anything differently? How do you normally set up for fights?
I mean, I watch a lot of video. I want to say like, no, I don't care. You know, I just train how I train. But no, I study my opponents. I, try to learn as much as I can. I basically try to figure out their whole schedule. But yeah, I watch as much video as I can, every fight, every loss, every win. I do my own, like, okay, this is what they're comfortable with, this is what they're not comfortable with, that means they're training for this. And then I do my own assessment and like, well, this is what's on YouTube about me, so this is what they're probably going to look at. But at the end of the day, I kind of train with what my strengths are. My coach is very good at picking apart what works, and we just make a game plan and we just train that game plan. And I mean, at the end of the day, I want to say, like, we go and we do the game plan, but that's not, it's just an idea. And then, like, if he says like, oh, you're going to take down in the first round, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to start banging in the first round. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's that old Mike Tyson quote, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. So.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like as long as I go in there knowing I'm going to get hit, like it's a fight, I'm going to get hit, I'll be fine. It's bad when you go in there thinking you're not going to get hit or you're not going to get taken down or, thinking you're going to dominate the whole, like, round and not even get punched. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is crazy people that actually think that that's how the fight's going to go. I mean, obviously sometimes it can go that way, but for the most part, you're going to get punched and you're going to have to either, defend a takedown or you're going to get taken down. So
yeah,
I think planning for that is probably a better idea than not planning for that.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's a big thing in MMA or any kind of combat sport.
It's true. So what does a normal training week look like? Like, how is it broken out for you?
It's kind of, I mean, obviously now I have a child and it's a little different, but,
right.
Typical, I wake up early in the morning, I come straight to the gym. We do our strength and conditioning. We do our drilling. I go back home. I used to actually stay at the gym all day and just sleep on the mats, but because I have to be responsible, I go back home, play with my child, give him his time with me and, try to do the mom thing. And then I leave him with my mom. His dad is also a professional fighter, so he needs to train and focus. And my mom kind of takes care of that, and then I go back to training. Now it's like the night sessions where it's either grappling, striking, or MMA. And then I like to do a little bit of live, not sparring, but just, like fight IQ stuff. And then I go back home. And then sometimes, depending on the day of the week, I work overnight. So I either work or I go home and rest up. Weekends is a little bit different. Weekends I just train all morning until about midday, and then I go home and be a mom.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so you are a mom now, and you also clearly have a very busy schedule when it comes to not only work, but fighting as well and training. How do you find balance with everything when it comes to life and work?
It's so hard because it is very different, and it's like at first it was very overwhelming because I was so used to just my life was just working and training, and I had a really good job as an EMT, so I didn't even have to work that much to make a good living. But now it's like, the mom guilt of I have to be a mom and be there for my kid and teach him the ABCs and stuff. I think I just kind of separated in my head. I'm very like, if I have to be there at 8, that means I have an hour. That means I have to be there by this time and I have to leave the house by this time. So it's, I guess I became very organized in kind of taking time for each thing. My child is now a little bit